Hastings! Hastings!
Hello and a very warm welcome to episode 115 of the Sussex by the Sea podcast. I'm your host Chris Laverick, and on the SBTS we try to get a flavour of our local football here in East Sussex, but in particular the club I follow for my sins, Hastings United. On episode 115 we've got the SBTS fan roundtable with contributions from fans from Haringey, Canvey, Dulwich, Margate, and of course my Hastings United. Enjoy, SBTS fans. It gives me great pleasure to introduce episode 115 of the Sussex by the Sea fan roundtable. It's been going far too long and it will never stop no matter what you do. I've got some wonderful guests this week from Margate, Canvey, Haringey and Dulwich, and some lovely, beautiful faces from Hastings as well. As we always do with this podcast, whenever anyone new comes on, we ask them how you fell in love with your club and that story. So I'll go first to Paul Hamilton from the lovely Dulwich Hamlet. Paul, tell us your love affair with Dulwich, please.
I've been going there about I divorced myself from Arsenal because I used to live in North London and lived in South London for the last nearly 20 years. And I think about 10 years ago, Dulwich were doing a programme to give away cut price tickets to local schools. So I didn't know Hamlet was there at all. It's about a mile from my house, but I went along with my daughter and just fell in love with it. Really, the singing, the atmosphere of the place. I mean, I can't remember the score or who we played, but so ever since then.
Was that too many sherbets, Paul, that you couldn't remember the score, or was that?
No, I don't think so, because that was when my kids. That was when I was with my kids. So when I used to go with my kids, they're a bit older now, so I don't go with my kids now. They're away from home. But no, it might have been slightly booze related, but no. So for the first few years, I suppose it's a bit like an infection. It just kind of first year I had 3 or 4 attendances. The year after it was 7 or 8, and then it got up to we got promoted out of the Isthmian up to the National League South, which was both a brilliant day, but then 4 years of absolute carnage. But yeah, that just cemented it. And then after COVID, as COVID was dragging on, I started helping out more around the club and ended up being. I'm now one of the trust board members. So there's 12 of us who run the supporters trust. And we're elected. We own just over 30% of the club.
Oh wow! Okay.
All right. Yeah, nice.
So and I'm kind of the in-house graphic designer. I do all the kind of posters, and I sometimes design the kit and what have you. Do all kinds of creative stuff. That's my day job. So it's become a bit like a workplace, but one that doesn't pay particularly well. But,
a labour of love.
Yeah. I think that's a common theme in non-league football, isn't it? So that's me. So I've got a club meeting tomorrow. I'm going through a period of not going to all the matches because I just got to the point where I felt like I'd seen too much this season. I wanted to, I'm not going to Potter's Bar on Saturday, but I am going up, and I didn't come to Hastings last week. Sorry,
you missed the. No, sorry. That's fine. You don't need to say sorry.
No. I always feel bad when I don't. I always feel bad when I don't go to away matches because there's part of, even if I've decided I'm definitely not going, part of my brain's going, go on, you could go.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah,
I wouldn't blame
anybody. We'll get that earworm.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's my.
Sorry, Ian.
Wouldn't blame anybody for not going to Potter's Bar, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mind you, their burgers are pretty good.
That was what I was going to put in, to be fair.
Yeah. Do you know what? I cannot remember their burgers. Tell me about the burgers.
Oh yeah, they are pretty good. Yeah, they're all done like on a big hot plate straight off, and they're like,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, they set up this like outdoor fan area sort of near where their
Yeah.
bar is, which has got this big sort of grill on there now. So yeah, they were one of the better ones I had this year. But the rest of the grounds, as I say, leaves you leave the imagination to it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, you done there? Dulwich?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're doing tons of stuff. I just say lots of people have had on before. Do loads of volunteering style. But when I we bring Andy Q in and people like that who does the PA box and the match day after match interviews and things like that, everyone kind of chips in. That's why we love it.
And yourself, mate.
No, I don't do anything. No.
No,
anyway.
you're a lazy bastard. But apart from that,
Shush. But we've also got Lee Parnell, who's a serial vlogger.
Yeah, I tried to be. Started it anyway.
it's cool. It's cool, mate. It's cool.
Lee Parnell's a Hastings fan, but this is his first time on the round table, and he's also started his own little vlog. He's managed to miss any drunken behaviour from anyone in particular, which
so far, but he'll be on this.
Praise him for. But Lee, tell me how you fell in love with Hastings, mate.
Yeah, so really much the same really as previous gentleman said.
Paul.
I was watching Paul. Yeah, much the same as what Paul said. I was sort of divorcing myself. I like that expression, divorcing myself from Premier League football. Really, watched Premier League football pretty much my whole life. Big England fan. Watching, really passionate about watching England. That's really sort of where my real love of football is still. And watching Premier League, but slowly getting more and more sort of away from it. And one August a couple of years ago, a friend of mine said, should we go and see Hastings? I've never been up. I've lived in Hastings all my life. It's a bit of a really, it's not good enough really. I should have been up years ago, but being a big football fan, big football family. So went up there, really enjoyed it. And I said to him, this is going to start something for me. And I said, I really enjoyed it. So went on my own a few times, sort of slowly got closer and closer to getting to know the rest of the fans. And now last 12 months I've done 50 odd games home and away. So it's sort of really changed my whole perspective on football as a whole, really. So I've been taking my son's 19, Jack. He's been coming with me when he's back in Hastings. He's not at uni. It's been absolutely fantastic. I've had a great couple of years watching Hastings and learned a lot about non-league football that I just didn't know was sitting there, an untapped football resource, really, to be completely honest. So,
I must say, Lee, talking about perspectives, we do have the images of you in different perspectives.
Yeah, we don't
lying on the floor in a train station with a cone on your head. Those sort of perspectives, we've seen those ones.
We certainly have. It's been great fun though. To be honest with you, I've not been the most social person for years, but this has just ignited something completely different in me. Just getting to know the guys. Everyone's so friendly. Everyone who I've met in Hastings is so friendly. We've been to some away games where maybe not everybody is as friendly, but that's fine. That's the way it is sometimes. But I've had a great time. And like Chris said, I've just started doing I realised that last year I went to 50 odd games, including England games, and sort of decided that I'd like to sort of record them to sort of look back on. And originally it was just for me to do, but recently I've started sort of putting them on YouTube, and it's just a bit of fun. And once you get to a point in your life where you don't really mind whether people think you're being stupid, you just sort of get on with it, really, don't you? So
went past that moment years ago. I did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
What in terms of, you're going to be doing it for the England games as well?
Yes, that's the idea. So my son and I go into the Euros. We've got all 3 group game tickets. So we're off Harder VW camper, and we're going off a bit of an adventure around Germany for 2 weeks.
Awesome.
And we're going to keep
in Lederhosen.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. Yeah, absolutely.
Sausage by the way.
That's it, mate. We're going to keep a video log of it all, and I thought, well, if I'm going to do that, I might as well see what I can do. And this has really started something with Hastings as well. So I'm going to try and record home and away. Yeah, just something a bit different, really, I think. Sounds brilliant. If you all want to subscribe, I'd much appreciate it.
Well,
I'll stick a link on this when it all goes out and all that stuff.
But no, thanks, Chris, for the invitation to be on tonight, really, to be on this.
You're very welcome, sir. Right, so who shall we go to first? Shall we Terry or John? Shall we go for Terry? Let's talk Margate.
Our little relegation zone battle, yeah.
Let's talk Margate. Come on, dear. So we are. I'm good. My kids have destroyed all my notes, so I'm just going to have a quick look. So we've had a couple of games. You unfortunately lost to Whitehawk, which tell me about the Whitehawk. So that was 3-2 on the Saturday.
Yeah, we fought it back. We was 2-0 down, brought it back to 2-2, and then
was it 98th minute or something?
90 whatever as usual. Yeah, Harry, the keeper, it came off of him when it went in, but it was basically it was going in anyway. It just bounced off of him when the striker put it in. I can't remember who their striker was, but that's part of the course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some improvements. So we've got a few new players in now. We had Concord at home. Still can't bloody score, but at least we didn't concede in the 98th minute again.
They had a couple of sending offs, didn't they?
Yeah, one of them was from off the bench.
Oh, really?
What did they do?
Yeah.
How long did he last?
Yeah, it was just like, really? Okay.
How long did he last on the field?
He'd been subbed off.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. So he was off.
Yeah,
he'd
been subbed off, so he was on the bench. I think it was their captain.
Oh,
and he was giving it this to the referee.
So what? He was given a red card on the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of their players, Deslandis, played for us. He got sent off, and then I think the protests from the bench.
Right.
They ended up sending him off as well. So
I think the refs love that sort of thing, don't they?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it was only like that 70th minute.
Right.
So, but yeah, it was quite entertaining. Oh, he threw himself on the floor when Tyrone was saying hello to him as well. Took his time. Honestly, it was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. But I was like, we didn't lose, so we're improving. We're getting there.
Yeah. So and you've had a game called off, haven't you? I'm sure you had
it was Cheshire
last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was due to drive the minibus up there.
You booked time off work as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I had today off as well to recover from driving the minibus up there.
Oh dear.
Oh,
yeah. Gave me a day off, didn't it?
Was it called off early enough for you to not go?
Just about, yeah, because we was planning to leave around 4 o'clock, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, it was like I was dressed and ready and psyched up to go. Like,
I think
they've got an artificial pitch, haven't they? Why are they calling that off?
No, they're
grass.
Yeah, frozen pitch.
Okay. Right.
I know. Didn't Concord call their game off at 6:30?
Yeah,
they did.
The match referee turned up, didn't they? So
yeah, it's after the crowed for a little day about. I think they had a few Hornchurch fans in their DMs winding them up because that's been a game that's constantly been pushed back along the scene, and everyone's saying, "Oh yeah, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again." And I think their social media admin on there was sitting there going, "Oh, we've got the better news this time. We think it's all good, ready to go." Ref turns up, curtains. So cue the slander again. That was quite entertaining last night.
I can imagine. I felt sorry for him. I thought, oh, here he comes. So Terry, so you got Bognor at home. You're looking at you're 4 points clear, aren't you, at the moment?
Yeah, I haven't been able to bring myself to look at the table. To be fair.
It doesn't look great. I'll be honest with you. It doesn't look great at the table, but Concord and Kingstonian, they do look like they're. Even though Concord have got a ton of games in hand, it's points you want, but like particularly Kingstonian look dead and buried.
Yeah. I'll say we've bought a couple of new players in, and they're looking quite good. I'm feeling a bit more hopeful now. We just got to get. Yeah,
well, we're going to find out what Haringey is going to do in a minute. Terry, they've had a little bit of an upsurge of form, in my opinion, but maybe that's wrong. Well, let's move on to Ian. Ian, so Haringey, talk to me, sir. Talk to me.
I think last time I was here, we'd just beaten Billericay, and the mood was kind of positive, and then we followed that up by losing, but a decent-ish performance against Hashtag on Boxing Day.
Yeah,
and then we took the lead, threw away the lead, standard, and then we were dreadful against Carshalton on the 30th. That was like one of the worst performances I've ever seen any football team. Just absolutely god awful. I think it's the only time I've seen Haringey fans sort of start to get angry at players. We're a patient bunch, but that was really, really bad. And then followed that up by beating Canvey Island.
Yeah.
So at the moment, we've that was a good performance actually. Like really, I mean, we went behind early and then scored 2 very late goals, but we were probably the better team over the 90 minutes, and that's the first win that we've had in the league at home all season. So we've hit a milestone there. We haven't gone without winning at home all season. But the problem with that game was 3 attacking players for us: Matt Young, Nedum, Melvin Lambert, and Walter Figuera all did their hamstring in the same game. So with Enfield, and we played quite well against Enfield, but we had absolutely nothing up top. We had Tony Mendy, and I'm sure he's played for most of your clubs at some point or other, but he's not, I quite like him but you need somebody else to actually do some running around, because he won't. Yeah. And it was so static up front, and there was just no one willing to move at all against Enfield. And we played all right, and then conceded quite a soft late goal for it. But Enfield are a decent side, and so I wasn't too upset about that. But we really need some attacking players to come back to fitness.
I don't know. Sorry, my daughter's harassing me.
Just sing amongst yourselves.
Sorry.
Is she looking for Kingstonian's form?
Yeah.
Yes.
Stop it.
So why do you think why do you think they were so bad against hashtag then?
We weren't too bad against hashtag, but against Carl Shorten, I don't know. I assume that we'd spent 4 days just eating stuffing ourselves Nicky, and
right, fair enough.
I mean, I think as well we are a team that on a good day we might just about beat some of the bottom half of this division, and on a bad day we're rubbish. And I think it's just having a bad day, really. I mean, to be fair to Carl Shorten, it was probably one of those days where everything they hit went in as well. Like, I mean, they would probably say brilliant performance, best I've ever seen them.
Yeah. You're still getting half decent crowds though, Ian, aren't you?
Yeah, like still plenty turning up. We had 470 against Canvey Island, which is pretty good, and that's without all the Dutch darts fans who come down.
Yeah.
Oh, who you got Saturday? You got
Folkestone. That's a winnable game.
Go and smash them.
I don't know. I think he's turning it around a little bit there, so I think that's going to not be as easy as you might think. But
no. And he's just got another couple of new players in, hasn't he? So.
Yeah.
The issue for us is we are actually picking up points now, but we're not picking up points fast enough. Like if we were maintaining this form over the course of the season, we'd be fine. But because we had such a rubbish start to the season, we've got so much ground to make up, and we're just not making it up fast enough. So it's sort of we're doing okay at the moment, but we really need to be sticking a few wins together if we want to have a chance of staying up.
Unbeaten at home in 2024. That's what we've got to look at.
Looking at the positives. Yeah.
Okay, right. Let's go to John for Canvey. Let's talk Canvey Island. John, what are we saying?
Yeah, I mean, this would be an interesting one, because obviously the first game I've got to pick up on is Haringey. So it's like joy and pain, as the song went, wasn't it? Sunshine and rain, the perspective on this.
Yeah.
To be fair, and what Ian was saying, they were probably the better side on the day when we played that one. I mean, we seemed to start all right, took the lead early, and I know we hit the post in the first half as well, so ifs and buts, but I never thought we was really in control of the game much. They seemed to be doing a lot more, particularly going forwards in the attack. And obviously it all just kind of turned on the 2 late goals in the end. I mean, we had a couple of chances before that. I know one of our players went through like 1-on-1, and we pretty much had a point where we had no striker. So seeing a central defensive midfielder in a 1-on-1, it was always a bit of a gamble. But yeah, if we maybe took those, might have won it. But obviously gave away a bit of a sloppy equaliser, and then they scored a good goal, to be fair. Very good strike to win it, and held on for the point. So I'm glad we made someone happy at the least. But yeah, we were fine enough to that one. Funny enough, I know the goalkeeping coach over Haringey, Phil. We used to work together at Asda, of all places, in Basildon. So yeah, it was a nice,
small world it is.
That was the one positive of the day. But yeah, so obviously, then we had I think we were meant to have Lewes, that got called off, more post-moment bingo. And yeah, Kingstonian on Saturday. I think if you were probably watching that as a neutral, it was quite an entertaining game. for us, we were just bricking it because we're thinking, oh, for God's sake, don't lose to another side in the sort of bottom 4 or 5 because we're going to get dragged into it if this carries on. I mean, the only consistent we've had in our season, it seems at the moment, is just getting more players injured. I mean, we are so lacking in bodies at the moment. We had our assistant manager on the bench, Kingstonian, the game, and he retired about 3 years ago. So that's for bodies. I mean, he used to be a good player when he did play, but obviously racked by injuries and that, ironically. So he called it a day when coaching. But to be fair, a better performance against Kingstonian. I mean, they made it hard for us, sort of brought us down to their kind of level a few times, but I thought we played some good football. Got away with it a little bit at the end. Our goalkeeper pulled off some really good saves. He's kind of had a bit of an up and down season, so it was good to see him get a good performance in.
Looks like you had a bit of a super sub moment there, though, wasn't it? That came on 2 minutes to go. That's
it, exactly. Yeah, I mean, the boy who come on and won it for us, Luca, he's had his chances cut a few times this season for some reason, which is a shame because he's a decent little player. And he kind of got away with one as well because obviously he got a penalty. And the goalkeeper's done well to get down and saved it, but it's just dropped as nice as you like for Luca to just tap it in afterwards. So I mean, we'd had a few chances before that. I think their goalkeeper saved a really good free kick off of us. We hit the crossbar. So we definitely weren't second best in the game by any stretch. I think we deserved to win it. So it's just, going on and seeing if we can try and get some momentum now, really. But with, so many injuries in the squad as well, that's going to be a challenge.
Well, you've got a couple of home games coming up, haven't you? Who have you got?
We have, obviously Horsham on Saturday, so that'd be another big one. Hopefully the ice don't put pay for that. Next week, I think we were meant to have Folkestone, but this whole County Cup situation's throwing that up in the air a little bit now because obviously they tried playing it on Tuesday. That didn't happen. Wanted to do it today, again, still frozen. So it might be a case of the FA end up shifting the Folkestone game now. So if that might get knocked back into February. And I think after that, it don't get any easier because I think we've got Chatham away after that. So that's not going to be an easy one at any stretch.
Yeah, not sure. Yeah. No, you said it, John.
So I mean, to be fair, we haven't done it once already this season, so anything's possible. This league's just a merry-go-round at times. They never know where it's going to stop.
No, certainly is. Well, let's move on to Paul. Paul, let's talk Dulwich. Let's talk your last few games. Obviously, the Hastings game you weren't at, but what was there any games that you made?
So, I mean, the Hastings game is, even though I wasn't there, follows our form. We're just getting loads of draws at the moment. Lots of draws and wins. We had a pretty shocking start to the season because we had we replaced our squad apart from 3 players. So we started entirely virtually new. And then with a manager we'd only had for the last couple of months at the end of last season, who was hired after Mr. Paul Barnes departed.
What an inspirational manager he was.
He was. We found him so inspirational, we sacked him. We took a bit too long to do that, so that kind of screwed up our season last year. I went to the 6-0 away at Worthing, which was at least satisfying because it was so cruelly unpleasant that after that, anyone else complaining about losses just didn't matter. It was like, no, you didn't see. It was just like the end of days. And also, I just got a new second-hand car, so I thought, I'll go for a bit of drive, go down to the south coast, go for the evening. Got there late. We'd already conceded. And then anyway, this season, so the beginning of the season we had a new squad, and then a lot of injuries to key players, like just a glut of them, and every team has it, but we had it a lot, so that took us a long time to settle down. But since kind of November, we've become quite hard to beat. We seem to have a defence which resembles a sieve at times.
You should be all right now. You got Harrison.
Yes, we got him from you. He's great.
Yeah, we know.
Thank you. Yeah. Is he a Londoner? Is that why he did it?
No.
Right.
I think you've possibly got where we are in Thanet. It is just the arse end of England. Nobody wants to come here.
Right, fair dues. And
being in Southeast London does mean we do it.
Yeah, he's a top lad. We've had, he did 100 appearances for us and then buggered off to you lot.
Yeah, and I'm sorry about that. I didn't cause that, I'm afraid. But yeah, so yeah, so because of the injuries, we've been through quite a lot of players this year, and an awful lot of the ones that came in. Some of them were like getting injured the next week. It was just like comedy, disaster time. But we've got Hakan in charge with his able assistant Terry. They seem like the players are fitter, and they've got a very clear idea of what they're doing on the pitch, but just our defending lets us down at times. And so we've been through so many games where you look like you're going to win and then don't, but we haven't been losing them either. So sort of mid-table at the moment is kind of completely fair. I can see us kind of gradually edging north of that, but I'm not massively into going back to the National League South anytime soon. It was a pretty unpleasant experience last time. But
you need a healing period. There's a healing period.
Yeah, there's a healing period. Yeah. And also lots of the teams in that league are a bit far away for a start. I mean, it's become the Southwest League this year. There's about 6 teams like west of Bath. But also the atmosphere around the clubs is a little bit more uptight than at the Isthmian level. I think clubs at this level are genuinely friendlier. And almost everyone I know has kind of remarked on that, just because people are a little bit more relaxed because they know, well, we're kind of down here and we're used to being down here. Whereas once you start moving up into the national south, and then there's the idea that you might go to the national itself, and it feels like you're almost on a ladder. Whereas at the Isthmian, there's a nice distance to it.
Some of the Hastings, myself and some of the other Hastings guys were discussing how we would get to some of the games and how that would work. If we were to go up, that'd be a bit more of a challenge, I would say. We were discussing that, Chris, weren't we?
Yes, we were. Well, we usually pile in your car, don't we, Lee? So that's usually how we solve it. But it does so help. I've just started working on the trains, so not saying it. I've got a free pass or anything, but anyway. me.
Yeah. So sorry. I mean, in terms of it's helped that we went out of all the cups, but virtually as quick as possible. And then a few players. What with having so many new players come in, it took quite a few of them time to settle down and actually start seeing who they were. There's a guy called Riley, plays in midfield. He's fantastic. He scored 4 or 5 goals this season, but just like a surging midfielder. And then we've got Michael Chambers, who used to be a Billericay. I think he's played for half the clubs in this league. He used to play at Billericay as well. He's a defender who sometimes scores.
Yes, he did. He scored against us.
He's a bit of a coin flip though, because like he'll have games where he looks amazing, right? And it's almost like at the beginning you should flip a coin and say, which version are you going to get today? Are you going to get the one who lets the ball sail over his head, or are you going to get the one that charges up the other end of the field and scores goals and defends everything? It's he's entertaining. I'll give him that. But yeah, so I think the atmosphere and also our attendances keep being quite ridiculous. So which is making the people...
Well, I was going to ask you that. Well, I mean, what is the magic formula to? I mean, like you guys, I'm sure the Hastings people will agree. There was at least 300-400 Dulwich at the Hastings game.
Easy,
which is
particularly
in terms of away support is very, very good.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, you're home. You're like 3,000, 4.
Well, our capacity is 3,300 and something, and we're getting
335.
Yeah, and we get most Saturdays are there or thereabouts nowadays, and even Tuesdays are like well over 1,000. And of course the away support. I mean, I think the away support for Hastings is really good because when that fixture came out. Like we were looking for, we're looking for Margate, Hastings, Whitehawk, maybe places that are a lovely place to visit, and have
good pubs. Good pubs.
Yeah. Good pubs, exactly.
Whitehawk, a lovely place to visit. I love that.
Well,
I'm not sure about that, but
if you live in South London, it's a trip to Brighton.
Yeah, I've been to Dulwich. That's quite nice.
You might as well just stay in Brighton though. Just ignore the Whitehawk bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's called just having a day out. But
now you guys made a lot of noise on Saturday.
Yeah,
Despite
no,
some of our fans saying you didn't. You did.
Yeah, no, well, we make a lot of noise at home. I mean, it was what 10 years or so ago when I first started going. The Saturdays were, you know, about 500-ish, maybe to creeping up to 1,000. I think it's almost the magic reason for it is geography. It's where we are. I mean, we're right in the middle of South London. Millwall is what 2 miles one way, and none of us would go there anyway.
What was that?
Well, and also all our crowd wouldn't go there anyway. And then Palace is another 4 or 5 miles the other way. But we're in South London where there are literally thousands of people who want to go and watch football matches. So you know, and we've kept our prices low for a long time deliberately. So it's just good fortune where we are. We know, I think we're very aware that we're very lucky to get such huge attendances. It is quite, I have to add, it is quite hard work because it means that we don't have anyone tipping money into the club from above. So basically the money we make at matches gets spent on running the team. But also if you have attendances of 3,000, then you need lots of security and you need lots of bar staff, and you know, so the expenses, there's more money, but the expenses go up as well. So it's and the number of volunteers you need, and you know, it's quite a lot of graft to keep it running. But so there isn't I suppose we got to that point of having quite such good attendances because we had programs for, like, the thing that brought me to the club first, you know, the kind of giving away tickets to schools, all the stuff we've done around refugees, around LGBT rights, all that kind of stuff. We've created an atmosphere around the club that's very welcoming and hopefully quite fun. And you know, and on top of that, we live near thousands of people who want to go and watch football.
Well, yeah, I think that's the main thing. But yeah, no, it's good to be a welcoming club. You know, the magic seeds. Hopefully, they can be thrown across Hastings. But yeah,
the only time it's gone a bit weird was last year when Cheshunt visited.
Right, go on.
And you know, normally you switch ends. Right, so before the match, all of our lot, the rabble, were at one end, and then we had to switch for the first half because so we went to the other end, and the Cheshunt lot just stayed there, right? And there was, I don't know, maybe a hardcore of about 30 or 40 who wanted to have a fight. Like, they were really on. And just, you know, the kind of moody teenagers mixed with several
we had that last year.
Several Larry geezers like egging them on, and it was it was quite good. But then it turned out that we paid for good security, so it didn't come to anything. But and also they were calling us or called all kinds of stuff, including lefty scum, and then we were singing to them when we scored 1-0 to the lefty scum, but singing it right out.
Fantastic.
Always helps if you win. It does hurt when you're in that situation. Yeah,
that's the way to deal with that sort of thing.
Well, I've got one more. I know we don't want to make this all about Dulwich, but I have to mention the Dulwich-Lewes feud. You know, the sort of Twitter feud. I can't not talk about it with the AI dog and all that. Well, half of it I forgot, to be honest. But like, what's your thoughts on it, Paul? Come on, slag Lewes off.
I only paid attention to the beginning of this, where someone was writing just a load of crap about just about who how we're basically sort of plastic and not real, or just kind of like and just starting this argument online. And to be honest, whenever
Lewes Clamor was the one that started it. Not saying any names,
right? But claiming you're right, and so
director at Lewes. Just anyway, go on, carry on.
Okay, right. And then when they came to our place, they came to our place in the cup, and they were singing, "Was it You're Just a Bus Stop in London or whatever?" And it's just like, have you seen how many fucking fans we've got here? Like, that's ridiculous. You know, I mean, anyway. But at the point that tiff broke out, that's normally when I switch off from such things. I don't have much. I can't be asked with people slagging each other off online.
That's all that happens online. I thought it was symbiotic. I felt there was a Dulwich and Lewes. It was.
No, I thought
it was a beautiful thing
before that match. So when we were in the National League South, we used to play Bath every year. and that was called the middle class derby.
I was going to say, yeah,
because it's just so
my
obvious. Or the Waitrose derby. It's just so because everyone just meets up and everyone just meets up and tells each other how lovely they are and what they've eaten on the way there and all that kind of stuff. And I thought that would be kind of the same with Lewes. And the people who run the club that I met, there's some lovely people. But yeah, there's an undertow of moodiness, which I wasn't expecting.
It's wannabeism. That's what it is. It's wannabeism
going on. What do they want to be?
I don't know. They don't like you being around. You're
you're
invading their safe space.
I think the original sort of preset of that sort of thing is back, because when I was getting into Isthmian football, Dulwich were always kind of that archetype club of that sort of could bring in the big crowds and obviously quite welcoming, opening. And then when I went to Lewes last season, I thought to myself, let's try and be like Dulwich. So it's going on the case of they've met the master, and don't want to try.
The master met the pupil.
That's it, exactly. It's true. That's it. That's the town.
I thought about like that, but it must be quite annoying for them.
Good. Yeah, we need to remind them of it. I do remember they were slagging you lot off, and then I think one of your fans reminded them that they haven't got TPs in their ground. What is it they've got in their ground?
They've got
beach huts.
Beach huts inside in their ground. So it's like, if we were talking about middle class, it's like, come on, don't throw stones, But anyway, let's talk about Hastings now. Right, I've got Andy, I've got Ian, and I've got Johnny Gale, and obviously Lee here. I want to speak to Andy first. First of all, Andy, great post-match interviews, by the way. Yes, you've been waiting quietly. This is very weird for Andy. Andy usually mega mouth. Post-match.
Well, I don't have much of a working knowledge of the intricacies of the situation at Haringey and Canvey. Obviously, I've seen the Lewes Dulwich bald men fighting over a comb type sort of spat. But I sort of share Paul's opinion, really, that 6 people having a go at each other on Twitter is not really representative of anything that's going on in real life.
Give it some air, Andy. Yes, we know it is only 6 people online, but come on.
Yeah,
the purpose of banter.
Sorry to cut back in. What was the beef? What was the problem?
There wasn't really a bit. They were just, I think what it is as I remember, and I'll stop talking about this after this. The Lewes, whoever does the Lewes reports afterwards is genuinely funny. A person that does really kind of funny, even when they get hammered, funny reports on the game, and then mentioned about your middle class, the usual sort of, as I remember. And then that started.
To put it bluntly, Paul, it was a clever dick article about the types of people that go to watch Dulwich. To put it bluntly,
and all these AI generated images as well of like kind of hipster as well. So it was essentially just one big craft beer festival with a football match in the background. So.
And then Dulwich came back. To be fair, it's not all Lewes. Poor Lewes now. Let's feel sorry for them. And then it started from there, and then it never stopped. So there was always someone, either Dulwich or Lewes, and there was other clubs beginning to chip in. And which was quite funny, which was they would then tease either Dulwich or Lewes, and then it would start back up again, which went on for weeks. It was beautiful. It wasn't horrible. There was no one saying anything actually nasty to each other.
That sounds quite fun.
I was. Well, people that know me know I was well entertained by it, and I didn't in any way try and stoke anything. I'd just like to say that.
Sorry, you'd never do that, Chris.
I wouldn't, Ian. Andy, sorry, back to you, sir. So, post-match interviews going well. Excellent stuff. Taking our club to a higher level, basically, in terms of getting information and content out there. So, praise you. I know it's a hard job. I know what you have to go through to get that done, and I'll leave that there. But how are you finding it? And then we'll start talking about football.
Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, all kinds of clubs have different levels of development in their media situation. Ours was pretty ropey at the beginning of the year, to be fair. And it all just, it all just stemmed from me making a little bit more effort with the PA side of things, and making a little bit more effort with the music, and trying to develop a little bit of an atmosphere, and create the PA Box Twitter account. And luckily, somebody had the bright idea of they wanted to develop the interview, so they asked me to do it, and I just sort of I'm a little bit of a control freak, so once someone puts that out there, it's either I'm sort of gonna do it
100% or nothing. Yeah, 100%. Well,
yeah, that's right. So I think if you say, it's one of those things, if you say you're going to do something, then you do it. So I did that with the PA
as George
box,
Michael said, if you're going to do it right now.
Do it right.
Do it with me.
And that is it. And it tortures you sometimes, because when things go slightly wrong, it ruins your day. But we're working on it, and it's gradually coming together, and getting a good cooperation from Chris is absolutely brilliant. I can't thank him enough. This is our manager, Chris Agata. I can't thank him enough for his cooperation and his attitude towards it. He's absolutely brilliant. The players are really good as well. So they're such great blokes to be around. And we don't do much. We're developing the player stuff again because it's early days. So it was fantastic to get Tom up into the PA box on Saturday after the match.
I watched that one. It was really good interview. Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, talking to Tom, hang on, Andy. Talking to Tom, I tried to interview him last week. Obviously, you got his interview. You got his interview then, right? I've been trying to interview him this week. I was supposed to interview him a couple of hours ago. He's just not talking to me now.
You're not paying enough, mate.
So this is what's changing hands, isn't it? Changing hands. I know what you like, Andy. Sorry, Jack.
I'll get him on my blog.
Yeah, I mean, we have a fairly informal Chris. Again, the brilliant thing is that Chris has encouraged them to get involved, and so when we ask them, what I don't do is I make a point of not badgering them before the game. For example, I don't want that sort of thing in their head before the game. I make a point of just keeping it as light as possible, really, with them, because I know they've got a job to do, and I just don't want to be in their way. So we deal with it after the match, and it sort of works, really. So we keep it. The one thing we do is we just keep it as light as possible. So so they can do their job, and we then come in afterwards. And it's I have no idea why Tom is blanking you. I can rest assured that it's nothing to do.
No, it's completely to do with it. I know why it's.
I haven't signed any exclusive deals with him.
I know. Well, I don't know what to say to that. No, Tom is not blanking me. He's obviously just forgotten. I'm not the first number on his phone. I don't make it my business to have all the players' numbers, because again, they just don't need me. I always think they don't need me hassling them. It's all right with Chris because it's part of his job, but with the players, it's an extra for them. So they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart, if you like, and so that's how we treat it. We have more of a formal arrangement with Chris, and the players we treat it informally. They come to you. They come to you, Andy.
Yeah, it's gradually, again, we did the ladies on Sunday, and they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun to work with. And Tom, their coach again, is absolutely brilliant and super cooperative. So, it's just, it's good. I'm probably lucky in that we've got the right people to help us do it. So, and I'm sure other people, I don't know what other people are doing around their clubs and that, but it's so dependent on the cooperation of the main protagonists. And we've got that, which really makes life a lot easier. So hopefully by the end of the season, we'll be any good at it.
That interview you had with Chris a week ago, when he did a rundown of all the players and, who's staying, who's injured and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what we've been after for decades, mate, honestly. And I know I've been saying it to a few people, but I'll say it on here now because some people won't have heard this. Nobody has got an excuse when they go on social media to say, well, I don't go on social media, so how am I going to get the updates? Well, you're on social media. All you've got to do is go on YouTube and listen to you. And you get all the news you want to hear now.
They are good interviews. They really are good interviews. Yeah,
much
really.
better. It's much better.
Right, that's enough inflating Andy's ego now. Let's talk HASTINGS United Football Club, please.
Well, anyway, the feedback's been pretty good, and we're happy. So we just try and make it better.
No, it's very good. It's invaluable for any clubs, how difficult it is to get volunteers to do it, particularly to do it to the level that Andy's doing it. I'm really kissing his bum now, but it is good. It is good. I mean, I'd say as other fans, I'd watch him talking about a different club than yours. It's that good. Sorry, Andy, go on, carry on.
All I was going to say was it should be, obviously, this is the more bantsy, the more chatty, the more general stuff, and it should be just a sort of adjunct to that. So this is a separate thing. Yeah,
you
big word of the week. And so the two things like this and the more formal club stuff should work in tandem to give everybody exactly what they want, really.
It's the Hastings experience. Well, as I say, I'm a fan. I'm not linked with a club. Not Andy is linked with a club, so I'm just a fan. So people can come out with anything on here. So it's
what you were just sorry.
Go on, Paul.
This guy over here. I'll point at my screen. Your friend with the grey hair.
The friend with I'm not going to say anyone's got grey hair on here.
John. John
holds there.
John was just saying.
I've got none to be grey.
Sorry. So we had years of the same of we had a fairly uncooperative manager for a very long time. Really uncooperative. So the media, the idea of doing post-match interviews and then also kind of midweek updates about form and who's in and who's out. But that's only just come to us this year, and it's really important. It was really missing because when you turn up on a Saturday and 3 players missing and you haven't got a clue why, and then if that's fine for 1 week, but if it goes on for weeks and weeks and weeks, and you're just in the dark, and there might be perfectly good reasons why people aren't on the pitch, but if you don't know, it makes it as a fan quite annoying, isn't it? It's quite frustrating.
But what tends to happen is it all gets replaced by rumour.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the club gets cross about the rumours being spread.
Yeah.
And then they refuse to talk even more.
Yeah. So, but you had Paul Barnes. He's the main talk.
Yeah, he did talk.
He did talk. Would you like me to avoid the topic of Paul Barnes?
Well, let's talk. What we first of all, let's talk our games, please. Right. Let's talk. Let's say we go to Cheshunt. So we had Cheshunt on the 6th. This is from the last podcast because the last one came out on the 6th. So 3-2 win away. Who was at that one?
Nah, not me.
You were there, didn't
you?
I
was there at that one. Yeah.
Were you there, Andy, or you were on holiday then, weren't you?
No, I was in Lanzarote.
Yeah, okay. This is where the club sends these people, Paul, Terry, John, and Ian. They get to Lanzarote. They go.
The sort of
funny thing was, I was in
midwinter break thing.
Yeah, I was in Lanzarote, and Chris Agata was in Tenerife.
But there's a bit of a disparity there, isn't there?
Yeah, I had this dream of getting across and doing an interview with him in Tenerife. But then I was. Can you imagine it? But anyway, I was horrified to find out that it was I didn't realise how far apart they are. It's a 10-hour ferry ride, so I had to sack that idea off.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought there. Right, so Cheshunt away.
Lee was going to tell us about Cheshunt.
Yes. Well, I thought we played really well, to be honest with you. I thought we hung on a little bit towards the end, but I thought it was a good game, to be honest with you. I thought Hastings played really well. I had missed a couple of games before that over the Christmas period due to family sort of stuff over Christmas, but it was great.
You weren't shuntering about that on the way to the game, were you?
No, not in the slightest.
No,
not in the slightest. But put it as well, I was pleased to be back seeing the games. I think that was the one where the goal disallowed right at the end there, wasn't it? No, that was the other one, wasn't it? But
yeah, that was the 3-3. This one was 2 for David and Tommy Fagg getting off the off the mark there.
That's it, and that's the one where he got quite badly injured, wasn't it? He's done up his back yet, but it was he was injured in that, wasn't he? In the 3-2.
Well, we can ask Andy. Andy, wasn't he out for another couple of weeks? Tommy Fagg.
Yes. So Chris said that Tommy will be out for another couple of weeks, so they're optimistic for that because obviously, as Lee said there, I mean, he'd really hit his stride, after a couple of games settling in. Him and David basically scored all the goals over Christmas, didn't they?
Yeah,
so
I thought he looked.
Kean chipped in with one, but those two were really beginning to form a bit of an understanding, which was a bit of a shame. But anyway, a couple of weeks, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, he was. They were sort of linking up really well, I thought, until he got injured. It didn't look good at all. he tried. He looked like he was going to try and carry on at one point, and I thought, oh, he's going to get up and crack on with this. But he obviously went off in the end. So
I'm only talking quickly about that one because heavy pitch, 3-2. We were a little bit lucky, to be honest. Second half, Cheswick come back into
hanging
the
on
game,
at the end.
hanging on. But let's move on to the Sussex Cup game.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah,
Eastbourne Borough of the National League South, who aren't having a great time of it. Tears are rolling down my face about that. Played them at their place, and we, in true Jose Mourinho style, we shut up shop, got pens.
Part of the bus,
We parked the camper van. I don't think it was a bus, but it was a camper van.
Part of the well, it's particularly towards the end of the second half. It was absolutely freezing that night. That was so cold out there. But no, I thought it was good to get 0-0 at the end, get them on penalties. It was a terrible penalty shootout. I don't think anyone really wanted to score it, did they? But
Charlie was superb in goal.
Charlie
Granger
really
was pulled off some great saves. And the main reason why I want to mention this game is because the wonderful Tom Chalmers came back. I just said some mean words about him earlier, but it was a truly emotional, because for the guys that don't know who Tom Chalmers is, he's a midfield player that he's been out for about a year with it was a knee injury, wasn't it?
Cruciate ligament.
Cruciate ligament. And this kid was going places, like he was regularly being scouted. Once he starts playing again, he'll definitely, if Hastings don't go up the leagues, he's gonna go up. He's a top player, and it was devastating when he got injured about a year ago. And when he came back on, singing his name for 10-15 minutes, it was and he didn't look too far off what he used to be like, which was good to see. Someone put him up in the air as well straight away.
And he survived that all right, didn't he? I did notice that when he come straight on and someone's like stuck a boot in, didn't they? So I was seeing him come through. That was quite good. Bit sort of hold your breath a little bit when he went down, but no, it was good to see him come back on.
Quite astounding how coming back on a 3G pitch, having done his knee on a 3G pitch, and then just looking so natural. I think that was the biggest thing that struck me, was you can see how good a player he is when what I said to him was his sense of the game was just still there. It was just his instinct was still there, and that the match fitness will come.
Did wonder if it was a great opportunity to throw him straight back onto a 3G pitch if he got injured on a 3G pitch. Because there always be that kind of nervousness if he goes a few games playing on a grass, and then that could potentially creep into your mind whether you're concerned about going back onto a 3G pitch. That might have been a fantastic time.
Well, it is nice because
jump straight back on it.
Yeah, it's nice because it's done now. It's done. So the nicest thing for Tom is he is now, as of this Saturday, he's just playing football again. All that is now out the way. So that's really nice for any footballer who's been injured long term. He's now at the stage where he's now just playing football again. He's not a returning player. There's no deal around it. He's just a player. And that's the nicest thing about it, I think.
Yeah, that was
a bloody
good one at that.
We move on from that then. Go on, sorry, go on.
Yeah.
Go on, Dean.
Yeah, so disappointing thing. The only disappointing thing about watching the Sussex Cup, Sussex Senior Cup, is a few of the players can't be in it. Just they're cup tied, which is a bit sort of frustrating, really. But I mean, I know that's the way it is. It's the same for everybody. But just sort of find that a little bit frustrating that this level certain players can't play because they're cup tied. But other than that,
under 23s can't play. Under 23s have got no league to play in anymore. So got a lot of players that's got no games now.
Yeah, when it's a young player maybe played a game for somebody else and now can't play in that competition at all. So that just seems a bit harsh. I don't know. There's obviously rules behind it.
Well, I mean,
seems it to me.
We were so short. Sorry, guys, I'm just going to bring this up. We were so short in that game, weren't we? Playing, we were playing 16-year-old, weren't we?
Yeah, 16-year-old. Yeah,
Joe. Yeah.
Was it Joe?
I think. Well, half of it's because we were obviously a bit short, but also young Joe, who played, is a player that Chris has got a lot of confidence in and wanted to give him a game, and he saw that as almost a God-sent opportunity to do it. So and he looked the part. To be honest, he played well. He played with a lot of confidence. I mean, for 16, if we all remember what we were doing when we were 16, it's just crazy, really.
We were sniffing glue, weren't we, when we were 16?
Yeah, good for him, mate. good for him.
I was still
coming on doing that.
Still doing my paper round.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So
I've only just given it up.
Well, you say that. So I mean, obviously, we played. Joe played with confidence. Eastbourne Borough played with the opposite. They did look like a team that's destined to return to the Isthmian Prem. Which is
really. No, because they were one of the teams when we were up upper league that just going away there it's always cold and bleak, and just there was 2 or 3 years running we kept drawing them in the cup. It was like some weird horrible magnet thing going on. You know, we just kind of like, who are we going to get this year? Oh, Eastbourne, brilliant. You know, just and it, but it's just dreadful. But yeah, it's a nasty place to go.
Well, that's Paul's words, not mine. Any Eastbourne fans listening?
Sorry.
All we can say is it was cold. It was cold.
No, freezing. And then obviously we talk about Tom's home debut. So he comes back, gets 2 against the Dulwich in a game that I thought we should have finished off in the first half. We had some chances, but then so did Dulwich. And then we gave some charitable goal. I think Tommy's going to be our leading goal scorer at the back. He's got, how many own goals has he got now? He's got 3. Has he got 3 now?
I think so.
Tommy Penfold. So a glorious own goal to get you 2-1 in the game.
Right.
And then 2-2. To be honest, it was clench the cheeks time, because at points in that second half, I thought you're going to get another one. But
you did.
2-2. I'll take that point after that.
Fair result.
Yeah, you've fallen into that kind of. There's a weird thing with our games. Lots of them end up as draws, but then we tend to have a very good last 15 minutes. And there's a guy called Luke Bonadio, number 7. He just tears up and down the pitch, and you know, and they seem to have, for the level of fitness that they've got going on is amazing, because they do keep running and right up to 90 minutes, and we have quite a few of our wins this season have come by just sticking with it, because lots of teams do fall away, lose concentration in the last 5 minutes.
I definitely think if it had gone on for another 10 minutes, there was only one winner by that point. But as Chris said, we should have been well ahead by half time, really. You know, we did have some chances in the first half. I thought we played pretty well. I thought it was a cracking game. It was one of those games where you've got a really, really massive crowd in, comparatively speaking. And so often when that happens, it's like it's a really drab 0-0 draw, or a really squalid, awful 2-0 defeat or something. And everybody troops away feeling miserable. But it was a real belter of a game, and a proper atmosphere, loads of noise from both ends, freezing cold, loads of chances, goalmouth action. I thought it was great. It was a good game, actually. It was a good game.
Yeah. It was a very enjoyable afternoon because of the level of the away support and therefore a big crowd anyway. And it was from a neutral's point of view, and I mean, like, Chris and the team weren't happy about it, but it was a point. It was a really good game. It was a fantastic occasion, and it was one of those. I think it was one of those days where the club and the whole thing transcended the result, if you like. And I think good things will come out of it. I think it's just one of those days where you felt like good things will come out of it.
It felt like a Tom Chalmers,
just the result.
Felt like a Tom Chalmers testimonial, didn't it?
Yeah.
We've got two cracking goals.
Two goals.
For somebody who's been out for so long, to take those goals, especially the first one, he took it so cool.
Hasn't lost his touch, has he?
Nah, and he got man of the match, but my man of the match was Adam Lovett. I thought he played an absolute blinder in midfield, which I think was made better because Jack Dixon's back, took a bit of pressure off him a bit.
Yeah.
It just seemed to be gelled straight away, and I thought, this is good. Even in the defence, you had Sam Gale looked really composed on the ball because the midfield looked calmer, and I don't know. I mean, Jack Bates going, bringing in Ditko, it all seemed to gel, didn't it?
It did look good. Adams played very well for a while now, and you know, they don't care really who sort of Hastings widgets today's sponsor picks that I don't think the players get too bothered as to who they pick. But it would have been nice to have seen somebody pick Adam for once. But obviously it was going to be a shoe-in for Tom on Saturday. First game back, 2 goals.
Yeah,
it's
2 goals.
never going any other way, is it?
It's fantastic.
But it would be nice to see Adam get recognised, even though it's trivial. It would be nice to see him get recognised because he's taken on the armband, and he's I get we got young. He's young again. He's young. It's great when you see young blokes like that who now are becoming. You see them becoming senior players.
Yeah,
I think I said that about David, and it's great when you see younger players becoming seniors. And
the thing about Adam is if he's having a good game, somebody else is going to win man of the match because he's setting everything up. He's the foundation for everything.
Good point.
So if he's having a good game, he's never going to win man of the match.
Yeah, that's it.
Because somebody else is going to have scored 2 or 3 goals.
Cracking song as well. So which we've seen about him, which is really nice.
Saying that though, like say with David, he's got 21 goals now this season. I think I'm 21. Yeah, I think you can count goals as well.
Wow.
His job that he did against Eastbourne, where it was more of a harrying defence midfield kind of.
Yeah.
Like it was a selfless job that he did against Eastbourne.
Yeah, I think that was really mature performance, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it's a really mature performance.
And to a degree, I think some of David's work helped free up Tom Chalmers. And that space that he got, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I did say just quickly, I've got to shout out Matt Allen, who is a relative of Tom Chalmers that comes behind the goal. I did ask him who writes Tom's scripts when Tom did score, and he threw his beer over me. So that's just...
I've got a question. The attendance was, what, 2,100 and something?
2,107.
If Billy was still chairman,
we've had this conversation. Yes, got it at 3,500.
Oh, really? Okay, you're not going.
Well, what do you think, Ian?
Oh, 17, something like 17,000, something like that. 17,500.
Yes, I agree.
Andy can't say as much now. He's more ensconced, you see. So
we did when Billy was doing the figures, we did have some laughs about it when he stick his head in the door and give me the attendance, and we had a few laughs about that. Yeah, so I know what you're saying, Ian.
Right then. I think what we got who we got? We got Cole Shorten. Cole Shorten Saturday.
Cole Shorten Saturday. Yeah.
Can't be there. I know that you're going, Lee.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah.
So Cole Shorten's not going to be an easy game. They sorry, I'm not prepped. I can't remember where they are in the league.
I knew this. I did check this before we started.
I thought they're like mid-table.
Is that what Connie was asking for? She was trying to find Cole Shorten.
Do you know what? And if I'd only looked before, Ian.
They're 9th.
They're actually second in the form league, though. You know, the last 6, so they're second in that. Lewes are top of that.
Yeah.
So we got some tough games coming up. We got hashtag Margate. I must remember my earplugs.
I'll bring you some, darling. I've got ear muffs you can use because it's going to be cold, isn't it? So.
Yeah, it will be. We've got Horsham, Lewes, home coming up. They're like 6 points, aren't they? I mean,
they've won 3 of the last 5, haven't they? So
I don't think there's any easy games really.
Talking a hashtag, so that's not this Saturday, next Saturday,
yeah.
That's that's going to be the return of the commentary. So myself, me, Tom Dyson, Laurie, and myself will be doing the radio again. So obviously this is the first week, so it is going to go arse over tits. Please, no completely abusive messages, just mild abuse. But yeah, we're going to be doing that, and we're probably going to be doing it for the Margate game as well, actually, for people that can't make the Margate game.
So the first one you're doing is hashtag, is it? The first one you're doing is hashtag. First one you're doing is hashtag. First one I'm only doing a couple. I'm not. It's not my. You know me. I like to be amongst it, so I won't be doing it for away games. And obviously, Terry, when you come along, this sounds wrong now, but take it in the way I'm trying to say it. But come in the box and come and say a few words. Now you know what I meant.
All right, I will.
But listen. Go on, sorry, Terry, go on.
I was just going to say, I was looking at the fixtures I've got coming up. You must have sort of like anticipated this because we've got you on the 30th, and then for the whole of February we've only got Chatham as the only other team. We've got Dulwich, Canvey, and Haringey.
Wow. Bingo.
Yeah, so it's like, just to let you guys know, I have got spare earmuffs. So I'll bring them if you want to come and stand anywhere near me. All right.
You probably need that with us when we come.
Yeah, we have recently we've installed an electric fan heater in the PA box now. So we are.
Yeah, it's quite toasty up there, isn't it?
It is very nice and becoming increasingly popular. It's becoming a bit of a social hub.
Yeah, you can go now, John.
Yeah, takes the edge off the fan heater.
Does. Oh well, yeah, but in my box there's a kettle and there's a heater that probably don't work. I don't know. I just saw it in there because I've only been. I don't go in the main stand. I'm the hoi polloi. I don't go in there.
It's not allowed.
I'm not allowed normally, but I had to just to check some technical stuff.
So it's your box now, is it, Chris?
No, it's Tom's. It's Tom's. I
think it's cuckooing. I think it is verging on cuckooing.
I was gesturing at Andy at points. He wasn't looking though. Just like,
because I'm concentrating, Chris.
Yes,
it's interesting. I don't know how many. I don't know what you'll find with this, Chris. I don't know why I'm pointing at you as if you're sat there. I don't know how you'll find this, Chris and Lee, with your vlog, and any of the other others who do match day duties and that. Ever since I've been doing that sort of thing, it really does change your perspective. It changes your perspective on the day. I can't tell you how much I enjoy going to an away game and having bugger all to do. It really does. I don't know how you'll find it, Chris. Changing your perspective of the home game, given how much you like being behind the goal and that. I don't know.
Well, I brought a selection of quail's eggs that we're going to eat in the PA box. So that's a joke.
Prawn sandwiches.
Yeah, I couldn't think of anything off the top of my head. Foie gras, some foie gras. Sushi.
So a few years ago, someone to do with people thinking that we're really middle class. Someone started trying to do coming along with a charcuterie board, right? And it very quick that just like it lasted for one game, and it's like no, it's sort of funny, but it's just totally no one needs it.
When I was I used to run a Watford fanzine, and we had this thing when we were in the Premier League, we were getting relegated spectacularly, and we, in the sort of drunken pub conversation, we were thinking, what sort of objects could you get into a football ground? And so every week we basically nominated an item of fruit or veg
that you would insert
to get into a football ground. And obviously some of them are, Brussels sprouts, quite easy. We ended with pumpkins. And you just had to get a photograph of yourself with the fruit or veg. It was pictured. It was on Match of the Day, actually. Was it?
Yeah, good tangent actually, because I once my brother lived in Norwich, and I was in Norwich one weekend with a friend who was a Leicester fan, and they were playing Norwich. Norwich were playing Leicester in a pre-season friendly. We were going night fishing after the game, so we had to pick up some maggots and bait and a rod
brilliant.
At a shop in Norwich city centre, and took them to the ground, and I had to hand a box of maggots and 2 fishing rods to a bewildered steward and say, what do we do with these? And so that was the oddest thing I've ever taken to a football ground. Was a pint of maggots and 2 fishing rods.
Oh,
that's very good.
Sounds like a fantastic way of distracting the goalkeeper.
Yeah, that's why they don't like my drum in some places.
Yeah. That feeling as well, yeah.
Right, gang. That was a good one. Thank you very much.
On that note,
Paul, Terry, John from Canvey, Lee, Andy, Ian the reader, Ian the book. We're going to have to talk about you're going to have to do book of the week soon. You will. And
nobody wants to hear that.
According to you, sir. Right.
According to everyone. Yeah.
And Ian from Haringey, lovely to have you on, and well, see you at the game. Take care, guys. Yeah.
Just interject.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, no problem, Andy.
Quickly, all of those of you who haven't visited us yet, do come up and see us. If you come to the game at Hastings, do come up and say hello.
Yeah, and the PA box up in the main stand. There's various levels of security you got to go through. Histed security firm.
Chris has got a kettle, Andy. So what do we get if we come and visit you?
Yeah, you get a cup of tea at me.
Honor me.
You get to meet Laura, his wife.
Yeah, and the massive woolly hat that he wears. Anyway, on that sidebar. Yes, take care, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers, everyone.
That's it for another episode, SBTS fans. If you want to get in contact with this podcast, the email is hufcpod@gmail.com. The Twitter, which is SBTSpod. Otherwise, go to the YouTube. Over 3.5 years of content on there. There's so many other ways to listen. However you get your podcast, we're on all platforms. Or go to the link tree, which is SBTS Podcast, and subscribe. It's all free. Remember, get yourselves to a game and support local football, whoever and wherever you're watching. And apart from that, see you at the game.